family. It's Ghetto. Hope your Shabbat is going amazing. As you see, I got my low vibe tribe with me in the back today, as they have so graciously offered to come and hang out with me as I do my Bible study. How you guys feeling? How are you guys today?
Good.
Amazing. So we're not going to belabor the point, gang. You know where to reach out for any questions, comments. Um, his ghetto point of view at gmail.com. We're going to do Genesis 26 and see how far we get from there. As always, feel free to tap in, and then, the IGs as well. If you do the Discord, now I have to do more to my Discord, but there is a Discord, and you can tap in with me over there. All right. So, yeah, let's go. And as always, if you want to support the movement, that is where you do that at. So, well, that being said, let's get into Genesis 26, guys. Genesis 26, verse 1. And there was a famine in the land, besides the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went on to Abimelech, king of the Philistines, on to Ger. And the Lord appeared unto him and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries with an S, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. Now, we're gonna have a conversation about what countries this could possibly be, because this gets debated all the time, and rightly so. Things like this should be debated. We should have serious conversations about the world and our place in it, right? So let's use this one. I like this one. All right, so pulled up a little mappity, little mappity. Now, what's cool about this map is it's nice enough to show on the edges that Europe literally, let me see if I can make that even bigger. Russia and the United States are just a Bering Strait, a Beringian Sea. This is rather close in proximity. If you look at that, can this even go even further? No, it can't. But that's probably a couple hundred yards, a couple hundred miles. It may be 1,000 miles. It's not very far a trek between this end of Russia in the Chukchi Sea and Brook Range, USA, getting into the Seaward Peninsula, the Norton Sound, the Bering Strait, the Beringia theory, my Beringia theory friends. But let's the Aleutian Islands. Let's have a conversation. So that wasn't really the point of the verse. In my humble opinion, I'm just gonna put it out there and you guys can refute it as I present more data. We're talking about a group of countries that was promised. We need to look no further than this group of countries right here. We need to look no further than this group of countries right here. Oh, that's crazy, Ghetto. You don't know what you're talking about. Let's see. Let's keep going. And I will perform the oath. Genesis 26 and 4. And I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven. And I will give unto thee thy seed, and I will give unto thy seed all these countries, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my law. So because Abraham did this, he's now going to bless the descendants of Abraham with the land. And Isaac dwelt in Gerar, and the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said, "She is my sister," for he feared to say, "She is my wife," lest she, lest said he, the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon. And it came to pass when he had been there a long time that Abimelech, the of the Philistines, looked out at a window and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah his wife. And Abimelech called Isaac and said, "Behold, of a surety, see, she is thy wife. And how saidst thou, She is my sister?" And Isaac said unto him, "Because I said, lest I die for her." And Abimelech said, "What is it that thou hast done unto us? One of the people might lightly have lined with thy wife, and thou should have brought guiltness upon us." It's a fair point. It's a fair point. And Abimelech charged all his people, saying, "He that touches this man or his wife shall surely be put to death." Then Isaac sowed in the land and received in the same year an hundredfold. So that means he was great at animal husbandry. He was great at farming, and any crops he grew, any initiatives he tried to do, even if this is just the allegorical for him putting his hand at businesses, any businesses he did, he put his hands at, the Lord blessed. And the man waxed great and went forward and grew until he became very great. He got very wealthy, very rich in the land, for he had possession of flocks and possession of herds and a great store of servants. And the Philistines envied him for all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham, his father. The Philistines had stopped them and filled them with earth. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, "Go from us, for thou art much mightier than we." And Isaac departed thence and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar and dwelt there. And Isaac digged again the wells of water, which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father. For the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham. And he called their names by which his father had called them. And Isaac's servants digged in the valley and found there a well of springing water. And the herdmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac's herdmen, saying, "The water is ours." And he called the name of the well Eshek, because they strove with him. And they digged another well and strove for that also. And he called the name of it Sitnah. And he removed from thence and digged another well, and for that they strove not. And he called the name of it Rehoboth. And he said, "For now the Lord hath made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land." And he went up from thence to Beersheba. And the Lord appeared unto him the same night and said, "I am." Ha ha, get it? He said, "I am. I am the God of I am the God of Abraham, thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee and will bless thee and multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake." And he builded an altar there and called upon the name of the Lord and pitched his tent there. And there Isaac's servants digged a well. Covenant with Abimelech. Then Abimelech went to him from Gerar, and Ahuzeth, one of his friends, and Phicol, the chief captain of his army. And Isaac said unto them, "Wherefore come ye to me? He saying, Ye hate me and have sent me away from you." And they said, "We saw certainly that the Lord was with thee. And we said, Let there be now an oath betwixt us, even betwixt us and thee, and let us make a covenant with thee, that thou will do us no hurt." See, this is when they started running game. This is when they started running their games. This is when they started trying to be sneaky. Mm, Pay attention. "As we have not touched thee, and as we have not done unto thee nothing but good, and have sent thee away in peace, thou art now blessed of the Lord." And he made a drink, and he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink. And they rose up betimes in the morning and swear unto one another. And Isaac sent them away and they departed from him in peace. And it came to pass that same day that Isaac's servants came and told him concerning the well which they had digged, and said unto him, We have found water. And he called it Sheba. Therefore, the name of the city is Beersheba unto this day. And Esau was 40 years old when he took the wife Judith of the daughter Beri the Hittite, and Bashemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite. So Esau had two wives, Judith, the daughter of Beri, who was a Hittite woman, and Bashemath, the daughter of Elon, who was also a Hittite woman, which were a grief of mine unto Isaac and Rebekah. So I guess they weren't fans of these women. And it came to pass, Genesis 27:1, and it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim so that he could not see, he called Esau, his eldest son, and said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Behold, here am I. And he said, Behold, now I am old. I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison. You know, his dad loved his venison. His dad loved that good venison that he got from the field. And make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau, and Esau went to the field to hunt for venison and bring it. And you see, this is where Rebekah intervenes and has her other son go and get the blessing. Before Esau gets back, she has Jacob dress up and play a secret game. But let's get into it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, and saying, Behold, I have heard thy father speak unto Esau, thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat and bless thee before the Lord before my death. And you see, the problem with it is Rebekah was already told by the angel when she had Jacob and Esau that the blessing was for Esau, that the older would serve the younger. And Jacob is the younger brother of Esau. In addition to that, later on, we remember that Jacob and Esau had already made a pact between one another when Esau was hungry. And Jacob bought Esau's birthright for some lentils bread when Esau was hungry. Because as you remember, he said, what good would a birthright do me if I die? You can have it. Esau shunned his birthright. Esau turned away his birthright. Esau never respected his birthright until it was time for his father to go. Then all of a sudden, he found it that he wanted it. While Jacob saw the value in having his father's birthright from very young, and he did everything in his power to get it. And Rebekah, their mother, already having been given this prophecy, had no choice really but to kind of move in this direction to make sure that the prophecy stayed in line. Because had she not done this, people can say, oh, she was wrong. But had she not done this, then the birthright might have went to the wrong person. Just my cup of tea on that. Support the movement, family. Support the movement. We're going to continue on. Genesis 27:8. Now, therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. Go now to the flock and fetch from thence 2 good kids of goat, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. Smooth. How can I? You see, he's smoother than me. He's got smooth skin. Esau's hairy. So how could he play Esau, the hairy man, with his smooth? And so his mother said, I got something for you. I got something for you. My father, peradventure, will fill me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, Upon be me thy curse. His mother was so adamant that this goes well that I'll take the curse. if anything goes wrong, because she remembered that as a part of being blessed with having Jacob and Esau, she had essentially made the oath to do as the angel commanded, which was the will of the Most High. And his mother said unto him, upon me be the curse, my son, only obey my voice and go fetch me them. And he went and fetched and brought them to his mother. And his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau. So she took some of his best clothes, but they were like Esau's clothes. They got his smell on them. They probably a little hairy because he's always out in the wilderness. And put them upon Jacob, her youngest son. She put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands. So she skinned the goats, took that flesh and wrapped it around him because that still had hair on it. And so now he's got on Esau's clothes, which probably smell like Esau and probably got a little bit of Esau's hair on him. And now she's actually literally putting skin of goats on him to literally create this illusion. As some people say, again, this is wrong. Rebecca shouldn't be doing that. And listen, we can have that argument all day, but it's like, are you saying that you would just put history in the hands of fate and chance to that regard? Or are you going to do what you're supposed to do to make sure things line up as they're supposed to? She put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands and upon the smooth of his neck. 17. And she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And he came unto his father and said, my father. And he said, here am I. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said to his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. Oh, why you lying to your dad? That's wrong. Listen, again, gang, we can parse all that out. Y'all know what my contact information is. We can have a great conversation about all that. Are you saying that he shouldn't have gotten the birthright? How about Esau just say, no, dad, I already sold my birthright for some porridge. No, dad, I already sold my birthright for lentils. You really need to be blessing Jacob. How about he just man up and have that conversation with his dad? But no, he still went out there to fetch the venison. I have done according to thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, how is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, because the Lord thy God brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near to Isaac his father, and he felt him. He said, the voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy, and his brother Esau's hands, as his brother's Esau's hands. So he blessed him. And he said, art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. Again, I get it. I hear your point, guys. And he said, bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat, and he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, see, the smell of my son, as is the smell of a field which the Lord hath blessed. Therefore, God give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. My people in them buildings know what I'm talking about with that corn and wine. Some people are used to being paid their wages. They just corn and wine. And I'll leave it like that. Salute to you, brothers, who know every day above ground is a good day. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. And let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curses thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out of the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau, his brother, came in from his hunting. And he had also made savory meat and brought it unto his father. And he said unto his father, let my father arise and eat my of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, who? What you mean? Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it to me? And I have eaten all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. And Esau heard the words of his father. He cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and he said unto his father, bless me, even me also, my father. And he said, thy brother came with subtlety and hath taken away thy blessing. Mm-mm-mm. And of course, this is going to start to stir the anger in Esau's heart to a very feverish point. And we see later on in the story how angry he becomes at Esau and how much he does everything in his power to try. Esau becomes at Jacob, excuse me, how angry Esau becomes at Jacob and how he very much tries to take Jacob's head off for a time. But yeah, we'll get there, gang. We'll get there. We'll get there. And he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blood. He took it away now. Oh, he took it away. How did he take it away? How did he take it away?
It was barter.
You bartered with him for your birthright because you shunned your birthright. You didn't value it. And now it was time for your father to transition out of this world. Now all of a sudden you want to be the big man on campus, so to speak, and the man of the house, as would have been naturally your birthright, but you decided that that's not what you wanted. And that's no one's fault but yours. And behold, now he had taken away my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved the blessing for me? But Jacob, honor thy father and thy mother. Jacob was just doing what his mother had told him. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren I have given him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. What shall I do unto thee, my son? And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. He's very angry, very angry. And Isaac, his father, said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword shalt thou live. But you see, the flip side to that is if you live by the sword may also be what takes your own head. And shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Mm, 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 mm. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, then I will slay my brother Jacob. Mm-mm-mm.
Oh, no.
And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah, and she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said unto him, behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, purposing to kill thee. So to make himself feel better for what happened, he's planning to exact revenge on you, good son. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice and arise. Flee thou to Laban, my brother, to Haran, and tarry with him a few days, until thy brother's fury turn away. Get out of here, son. Get out of here as fast as you can. Go stay at your uncle's place till your brother calm down. Until thy brother's anger turn away from thee, and he forget that which thou hast done unto him. And then I will send and fetch thee from thence. Why should I be deprived also of you both in one day? And Rebekah said to Isaac, I am weary of my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob take a wife of the daughters of Heth, such as these which are of the daughters of the land, what good shall my life do me? Genesis 28. And Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and charged him and said unto him, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Padan Aram, to the house of Bethuel, thy mother's father, and take thee a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban, thy mother's brother. And God Almighty bless thee, and make thee fruitful, and multiply thee, and thou mayest be a multitude of people, and give thee the blessing of Abraham to thee, and to thy seed with thee, that thou mayest inherit the land wherein thou art a stranger, which God gave unto Abraham. Whew. Go get that land of Canaan, sir. Go and get it. And Isaac sent away Jacob, and he went to pay Aram unto Laban, son of Bethuel, the Syrian, the brother of Rebekah, Jacob's and Esau's mother. When Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him away to Padan Aram to take him a wife from thence, and that as he blessed him, he gave him a charge, saying, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. And that Jacob obeyed his father and his mother and was gone to Padan Aram. And Esau, seeing that the daughters of Canaan pleased not his father Isaac, then went Esau unto Ishmael and took unto the wives which he had Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nebajoth, to be his wife. Let me read that one more time. I really batched that one. Then went Esau unto Ishmael. So he's in the tribe and the people of Ishmael, Ishmael's descendants, and took onto the wives which he had Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abram's son, the sister of Nebajoth, to be his wife. Jacob went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran, and he lighted upon a certain and tarried there all night because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place and put them for his pillows and lay down in that place to sleep. Oh, you mean Jacob's pillow? You mean Jacob's pillow? Jacob's pillow? Not Jacob's pillow. Not Jacob's pillow. So, let me see. Now there's a myth, guys, that the stone of Jacob, as it were, the stone of Jacob, as it were, was found and taken to a very special place, guys, and it still sits there today. What place is that, you ask? Ghetto, stop being so suspenseful. Well, sure, 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 sure. The coronation chair. The coronation chair. Ghetto, what are you saying, Ghetto? What are you saying, Ghetto? The coronation chair. What are you saying, Ghetto? The very chair that was used to just crown King Charles has this beautiful stone under it. Does it not? Ghetto, what are you talking about? Go watch it again. See if there's a large stone under the chair. Okay, what if there is? What's so special about this stone you're talking about? The stone of Jacob. Stone of Jacob appears in the book of Genesis as the stone used as a pillow by the Israelite patriarch Jacob at the place called Bethel. As Jacob had a vision in his sleep, he then consecrated the stone to the Most High. More recently, the stone has been claimed by Scottish folklore and the British Israelism. British Israelism, or the concept that Israel ruled over Britain. We're talking about Queen Tefi, who was arguably the last pharaoh, and her going with old father or Jeremiah and the last remaining Hebrews over into Britain. Old father, Scotia, Tefi, Stone of Scone, Stone of Jacob. Are we going to go there? According to accounts given in Genesis, Jacob was fleeing from his elder twin brother Esau, whom he had tricked out of receiving their father Isaac's blessing of the firstborn. On his flight, Jacob rested at a city called Luz and used a group of stones as a pillow. Jacob left Beersheba and set out for Haran. After waking up, Jacob exclaimed, "How dreadful is this place!" Other traditions, some Scottish legends surrounding the Stone of Scone, traditionally used for coronations of Scottish kings in the Middle Ages, have identified this stone with the stone of what? The Stone of Jacob. No, they didn't. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Ghetto? So you're saying the stone that's in Genesis 28 is the stone that they use to coronate the kings? Supposedly, the Stone of Jacob was brought to Ireland by the prophet Jeremiah and thence to Scotland, with the Stuarts and the Swarty people. King Stuart. The 17th century writer John Speed describing the coronation of James the First of Scotland. James the First and Fifth of Scotland, the Swarty Stuarts, calls the stone at Westminster Abbey by the Latin name Saxum Jacobi. Saxum Jacobi. These legends also feature prominently in the British Israelism, a belief system that holds the British royal family is descended from who?
King David.
Oh no, not that. Whoa, what's going on here? What's going on here? It's a little too light skinned for me, but I'll let it go. From 1308 to 1996, the Stone of Scone rested at King Edward's chair at Westminster. Y'all thinking this book is just a book, and this book is pointing to real history. On 23rd December 2020, it was announced that the Scottish government that the stone is relocated to a newly renovated Hall of Destiny in Perth Centre, only a few miles from. So it's a real stone. These stones from Genesis are real stones. Oh, I thought that book was make believe. No, I thought you were make believe. Continuing on, and he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth. Oh, Jacob's ladder. You know, we used to play that game when we was a kid. I loved the game, Jacob's ladder. And the top of it reached to heaven, and behold, the angels in the Most High ascending and descending on it. And behold, the Lord stood above it and said, "I am the Lord God of Abraham, thy father, and the God of Isaac, the land whereon thou liest. To thee I will give it into thy seed, and thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in thee and thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed." Yo, Ghetto, you ain't really explained nothing about that Stone of Scone stuff. You just said some things off of Wikipedia. You didn't. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? The Stone of Scone brought to Westminster around 1300 has been confirmed by geologists to be a lower Old Red sandstone quarried in the vicinity of Scone and thus not transported. Interesting. So now they're trying to say that it wasn't transported. Well, let's see. Let's see how accurate that is. The stone of scone, meaning stone of destiny, also called the Clacnia Sinahium, Scots. The Stan o' Scone is an oblong block of red sandstone that was used in the coronation of Scottish monarchs until the 13th century and thereafter in the coronation of English and later British monarchs. Again, this was still used when they just did King Charles's coronation just last summer. The stone measures 26 by 6. And if let me get this straight. So this stone is so fake that they're spending all this time measuring it, keeping it safe, keeping it protected, keeping it guarded, but it has no special value. And they're using it to swear in all the kings and queens of all of these great monarchies. Okay, sure, we'll go with that. A cross is roughly incised on one surface, and an iron ring at each end aids with transport. Interesting. Monarchs sat on the stone of Scone itself until a wooden platform was added to the coronation chair in the 17th century. Why am I so I've been keeping this thing safe since the 1200s at least, but there's nothing special about it. All right. The artifact was originally kept at the now ruined Scone Abbey in Scone near Perth in 1296. But it's not an artifact, it's just a rock. No special value to it. In 1296, the forces of King Edward I of England captured it. So they fought a war to capture this rock that don't mean nothing to nobody. All right, let's go with that. The stone was subsequently used in the coronation of English monarchs. So first, it was being used to coronate the Stuart monarchs. Then the English people took it, but it's just a meaningless rock that was just sitting there this whole time. All right. The stone was subsequently used in the coronation of English monarchs and British monarchs for over 500 years. In 1996, the stone returned to Scotland and kept in Edinburgh Castle with the honors of Scotland. The stone remains property of the Crown. The stone remains property of the Crown, the current royal crown, and is transported to London for use in coronations. Since March 2024, it has been permanently on public display in Perth. Origins and legends. 14th century, the English cleric and historian Welton Hemingford identified the previous location of the Scottish coronation stone as the monastery of Scone. Various theories and legends about the stone's history prior to its placement in Scone. One concerns Fergus, the son of Eric, the first king of the Scots in Scotland, whose transport of the stone from Ireland to Argyll, Jason the Argonauts, where he was crowned on it. What's recorded? Why would I spend all this time transporting this stone? Oh, I'm sorry. The stone's been there this whole time. That's what it is. None of this actually occurred. It wasn't transported nowhere. None of this happened. Y'all right. Some in the 15th century chronicle. Some versions identified by the stone brought by Fergus with Leah Fail in Scottish or Erse, originally rendered Leah Fail. In the 20th century alphabet revision saw that grave accent replaced with the acute Leah Fail. Gaelic for the stone of destiny, from Leah meaning stone and Fail meaning fatal, the fatal stone. The stone of fatality, the stone of fate. Used at Tara for the inauguration of the High Kings of Ireland. Other traditions contend Leah Fail remains at Tara. Other legends place its origins of the stone in biblical times and identify it as the stone of Jacob, taken by Jacob from Bethel while on the way to Haran. Genesis 28:10 through 22. This same stone of Jacob was supposedly taken to ancient Ireland by the prophet Jeremiah aka the old father.
Wow.
Play with me, man. Don't play with me. What are you talking about this old father stuff? What do you mean Jeremiah took the stone to Ireland? He did. Dang it. Dang it. But we're gonna get back. Listen. We got time for this. Oh, we got time for this. Let's finish up Genesis 28. And behold, I am with thee, and I will keep thee in place in all places whither thou goest, and will bring thee again into this land, for I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken to thee of. And Jacob, oh, and Jacob awaked out of his sleep, and he said, surely the Lord is in his place, and I knew it not. And he was afraid and said, how dreadful is this place? Is this none other but the house of God? And this is the gate of heaven. And Jacob rose up early in the morning and took the stone that he had put for his pillows and set it up for a pillar and poured oil upon it. So he blessed and sanctified these stones after he had those dreams. Okay. And he called the name of the place Bethel, but at the name of that city was called Luz at first. And Jacob vowed a vow, saying, if God be with me and will keep me in this way that I go, I will give me bread to eat and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace. Then shall the Lord be my God, and this stone which I have set for a pillar shall be God's house.
Wow.
And all of that thou shalt give me, I will surely give 1/10 unto thee.
Wow. Amazing.
Genesis 29:1. Then Jacob went on his journey and came to the land of the people of the east, and he looked, and behold, a well in the field, and lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of that well they watered the flocks, and a great stone was upon the well's mouth. Real quick before I finish getting into this, Tia Teffy of Ireland, ancestors of Tia Teffy, Queen of Ireland, daughter of the kings of Judah. Tia Teffy, Queen of Ireland, daughter of Zedekiah, the last king of Judah, was born in Spain and died in Adba, Meath Leaner, Ireland. Was born in Spain. What? The Chronicle says Tia Teffy of the house of the High One, princess of Zion, loved of the Lord, home of the house of her God, daughter of David, shepherd in Judah, tribe of the lion, queen over Bethel and Dan, where they be scattered abroad. It is not the word made sure we are spread forth in alien places. Fire that was kindled burns to uttermost hell. Princes led captive to Baal. Even I, am left to pry from the uttermost region, far off isles of the west, home of the remnant of Dan. Sown as the thistle on earth is Jacob. The name of us is Legion. Tongue of the Hebrew fails. Tia Teffy describing the dispersal of the lost tribes of Israel. Buried in the poetry and folklore of Ireland is the tale of a prophet, an Egyptian princess, and Simon Brugge, a scribe. They landed in Ireland about the same time as the destruction of Jerusalem took place, bearing with them a great chest and a stone wrapped on a banner. The princess married the Zerahite king, Eachad II, Ardath, Ardrig, and Heremon, horseman of all of Ireland. It is claimed that with the princess Teotefi were brought to Ireland many priceless relics showing Hebrew identity and royal descent of her people, among them the Jodim Morian, or priest breastplate, the harp of King David, the sweet singer of Israel, and the famous coronation stone of the kings of Ireland, Scotland, and England. This stone, tradition states, is identical pillow upon which the head of Jacob rested at Bethel, that it was carried to Egypt by his sons and became sacred in the eyes of his descendants. Wow. It is called the stone of fate or fortune, and it is spoken of in the old records of the as ancientest respected monument in the world.
Really?
Look at that.
Wow.
The stone of Scone, aka the stone of Jacob. See, I can say this is fake all you want. And this, of course, would be Jacob's ladder. We going step by step on the stairway to heaven. Boom, 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 stairway to heaven. We going step by step. Boom, boom. All right, we keep going. And he looked, Ghetto, that's still not enough evidence. Well, then email me about it, man. Here's ghettopointview@gmail.com. And he looked, and behold, a well in the field, and lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of that well they watered the flocks, and a great stone was upon the well's mouth. And thither were all the flocks gathered, and they rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the sheep, and put the stone again upon the well's mouth in its place. And Jacob said unto them, My brethren, whence be ye? And they said, Of Haran we are. And he said unto them, Know ye Laban the son of Nahor? And they said, We know him. And they said unto him, Is he well? And they said, He is well. And behold, Rachel his daughter cometh with the sheep. And he said, Lo, it is yet high day, neither is it time that the cattle should be gathered together. Water ye the sheep, and go and feed them. And they said, We cannot until all the flocks be gathered together, until they roll the stone from the well's mouth. Then we water the sheep. And while he yet spake with Rachel, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she kept them. And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother. And Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice, and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father. And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob, his sister's son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things. And Laban said to him, Surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him the space of a month. And Laban said unto Jacob, Because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be? And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel.
That's Leah.
Leah. And you see, this is when Laban starts to get funny with the money, because to ask me what I want as wages and then give me what you want anyway, that's getting funny with the money. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. And Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, that younger daughter. And Laban said, It is better that I give her to thee than I should have to give her to another man. Abide with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days, for the love he had to her. And Jacob said unto Laban, Give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her. And Laban gathered together all of the men of the place and made a feast. So now they're going to have a great ceremony, get them married. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah, his daughter, and brought her to him. And he went in unto her. And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah, his maid, for a handmaid. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said unto Laban, what is this that thou hast done unto me? Did not I serve thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me? Why you tricked me like this? I served you. I did my indentured servitude for 7 years. Why do this? And Laban said, it must not be done so in our country to give the younger before the firstborn. Fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service which thou served with me yet 7 other years. So serve with me 7 more years, and I'll give you Rachel as well. And then you can have both sisters. And Jacob did so and fulfilled her week, and he gave him Rachel, his daughter, to wife also. And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah, his handmaid, to be her maid. And he went in also unto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served with him yet 7 other years. So in total, he serves 21 years there. Interesting. And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. And Leah conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben, for she said, surely the Lord hath looked upon my affliction. Now therefore my husband will love me. And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, because the Lord hath heard that I was taken, he hath therefore hated, he hath therefore given me this son also. And she called his name Simeon. And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, now this time will my husband be joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore was his name called Levi. And she conceived again and bare a son. And she said, now I will praise the Lord. Therefore she called his name Judah, and left there. We're going to pause it there today, gang. Feel free to tell me how crazy I am about Stone of Jacob, Stone of Scone, Coronation Chair. Feel free to, let me know how crazy I am about all this stuff. Tia Teffy, what part of the world I think that this was actually given as a promise. What countries were actually given as a promise to Abraham? Where was that promised land really? Where were those Canaans? Where was Canaan? Where was Canaan? Where were those Canaanites at? Where were those Canaanites at? Where was Canaan? What countries are around that? What countries are around that? I don't know. I guess we'll figure it out. What is right next to that? Man, there's just so much history. Just so much history that may not be being given to us. And we see Russia, and again, right here, you just get across this so easily. And so we see all these countries here. We see Spain, we see France, Italy, Turkey, Romania. We see Ireland, Ur of the Chaldees. We see how not very far at all it is from Ireland to Greenland. And once you're in Greenland, you're in the Americas. So, I mean, this is not very far distances, guys. Just saying, this is just his ghetto point of view. Feel free to email me, hisghettopointofview@gmail.com. Let me know how crazy I am. I am so grateful to the Most High for continuing to bless your family and bless my family. I'm always humbled for the opportunity to get with you and share a bit of my perspective, my point of view. And I hope this has been edifying, educational, fun, enlightening, humorous. Hope you had a good time. I know I always have a good time. Blessings to the tribe. I'll see you soon. Peace and love.